what I'd like you to do is I emailed you a folder, and that folder has in it, this is the email right here, just so you see it. All right. Sent it to all of you before class, or right when class started. And it's got some stuff in there for today. So let's take a look at what's in there, okay? So the folder is called 103117. I don't know if I thought I had, there it is. There are 3 files in it, if you look up on the screen here. What I did, please everybody look on the screen, is I added stuff so that your home page would look a little better than it does right now. So we're going to remove most of the stuff from your home page in just a minute and make some changes to it. We're going to add this stuff to it, all right, in just a couple minutes. Then in your About page, I actually went out. It's amazing. You can find anything on the internet. And there's stuff out there about why you need to write a to-do list. You know, so I went and found that and put that out there too. So we're going to add all of that stuff in right now. So what I'd like you to do, please, is to go out to your email, grab that folder that is called, I believe, Class 103117 or something like that. It's a zip folder. Put it on your desktop or wherever you like to put folders and unzip it, please. Again, as always, if I'm saying something, you don't have a clue as to what I'm saying, you're going to have to ask. All right? Okay, now I got to remember where this is. Do a quick check here. See, there it is. Let's check in here for under views home. Okay. All right. I'd like everybody then, if you would please, look on the screen here. I'd like you to go down to where you've got your views folder right here. And under views, there's a folder called home. I'd like you to open that. Okay. And so we're under views. Home, and I'd like you to first open the index.cs HTML file. I mean, I'm going to take a look at yours when we get done. My guess is somehow something got hosed when you created the database. I don't know what. All right. So we're going to open up this index page here. All right. And what it has in it is, well, a whole bunch of junk. All right. I opened up the wrong one. There we go. That's what I want. All right. So it has in here, this thing you're going to get to learn, but not real well, but I just want you to hear about it. Viewbag. It's kind of weird. It's an object that you can put anything into. It's literally an empty object, but you can put anything in the world you want into it, whether you're going to use it in your program or not. Okay, so we'll get into that, but just not right now. Now, what we have in here, if you look on the screen, this is what comes up when we bring up the home page. So this is the Jumbotron. with ASP.NET in it. First of all, that's kind of dumb. So we're going to change this to do app written by, just kind of like what we have on top. And if you don't like that, you could put something else in there. I don't really care. All right? But that's the first thing. All right? After you've got that in there, remove these two paragraphs. We just don't want them. Okay? We're not going to run this yet, but please look up on the screen here. All right? Now, I tried it just for the hell of it, and it worked just fine. So rather than putting our images in content, which to me seems dumb, it just seems counterintuitive to do that. So right mouse click on your project name, choose add, and choose new folder. Not ASP.NET folder, just new folder. Right there. So right mouse click on your project name, choose add, and new folder. And that makes a new folder, which we're going to call images. All right? Again, unless somebody stops me, I'm taking for granted that this is making sense to everybody. Then right mouse click on your images folder, choose add, but choose existing item. And I'm going to suppose that you put yours on your desktop. Maybe you didn't. But if you did put it on the desktop, then go back to your desktop, find your folder that says Class 1031, 2017, double-click the folder, and we want the last file in there, tasklist.jpg. All right? So I just added that to my images folder. There's other ways that you can do it. That's the recommended way from Microsoft to do it, as opposed to literally going into the file and dragging stuff in there. All right? Sometimes it just doesn't work the way you think it would. All right, please look up on the screen. So now I'm going to take my tasklist.jpg and I'm going to drag it right here. So I just put it in there. And I actually changed the height and the width on mine because I thought it looked a little better, so I made the height. Normally I wouldn't be putting this in here, but I did anyway. So I made the height and the width both 300. All right?
Just do that in the site CSS.
You could do it, it'd be better to do it in your CSS. Yeah. All right? So you don't have to do this, but if you look up on the screen here, you don't have to do this. But this is what it looks like after making that change. Still loading. So that's what I've got. Maybe it was a little too big. Maybe I should have put written by Jeff Scott on another. I don't care. Maybe I should make it an H2 tag instead of an H1. So it'll all go on one line. It's not that big a thing. It really and truly isn't. All right, if I make the screen small enough, it looks just fine like that. All right, now, so that's first thing. I'm going to stop my run, and I'm going to go back to the same file I was just at and stop the run there. Now, if you look, please look up on the screen here. In that folder, there are 3 files. We already looked at the JPEG file, but if you look on the screen, there's a file called index.txt. That file looks like this. All right, I want you to open up that file in your editor of choice, not Microsoft Word. Please don't open it up in there and say, that's my editor of choice. That's not an editor. But open it up in Notepad or Notepad++ or brackets or whatever. I just have it open in Notepad. And I'm going to highlight all of it, Control-A, Control-C. All right, so I highlighted the entire file, index.txt. Then I'm going to go back to my program, and everything that's here under that div that I just put in under my Jumbotron, I'm going to remove all this stuff. So I'm removing the rest of it. And I'm going to paste in my stuff. What's that?
Add a double quote.
Where?
Back of your target.
Right there. Yeah, you're right.
On every one of them.
Okay. Well, at least I was consistent. That's the wonders of copy and paste. All right. Everybody hear that? The target equal blank on all these needs an ending double quote.
It'll make it look really weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I bet it did. All right. Now when I run this, let's take a look at what the home page looks like now. Hopefully it'll load a little faster than it did before. And I'm pretty sure that the reason that mine is actually loading as slow as it is, I think the reason for it is just because of the fact that I've got Camtasia running, and it's a pig. So this is what we now have. You know, make this smaller. Now at least it sort of makes sense. To do app, there's Model View Controller, there's Entity Framework, and there's Git. It's not garbage text like we had before. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. Okay, I'm going to stop the run. I only got one more thing to do, and then I'm done talking, other than giving you your assignment. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the run, and now I don't want to be in my about. I'm sorry, in my index file. I want to be in my about file, and look what's in there. Not a whole heck of a lot. You see this paragraph that's right here? It says, use this area to provide additional information. Let's remove that. So let's remove that paragraph. And then we're going to go in and we're going to open up the other file that's in here that's called about text, the other one that I gave you. So on my desktop, there's my class 1031. There's about text. All right, I'm going to highlight all of that, copy it to the clipboard, paste that in here. All right, save. I don't think there's any errors in that one. Thank you, Ethan, for finding the problems I had with the other one. So I'm going to run it, and it looks ugly as hell because there's absolutely no formatting. I purposely put no formatting in it. So I'm going to pass this out. We're going to go over it. This is your assignment. Again, I've shrunk mine down so you can see how small it is. Okay? So let's take a look at what the assignment says. All right? This is what you are to do with this. I tried to combine what we just did with stuff you've already done. All right? You're creating your first ASP.NET MVC website right now. We've done most of it as a class, but the rest is going to be up to you. So if you look on the screen or on the handout I just gave you, either one, first thing, add a Bootstrap theme to the site. I want it to look more professional. Right now, the About page, the Contact page, they're just a white background. That doesn't look very nice. All right? So add a Bootstrap theme. Use Font Awesome to add glyphicons for each one of the menu options. And you should be able to come up with something that's at least somewhat indicative of what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if for home, find a home icon. For contact, don't put Facebook for contact. You know what I'm saying? All right? And we've done this already, so that shouldn't be a big thing. don't worry about doing the Git stuff. We're gonna work on that next week. That's why I said optionally. If you want to work with Git, you can, but you don't have to. So you adding a theme, whatever that theme is, and adding those font awesome glyphicons, that's 10 points. All right? Then pretty up the home page. I don't want you to use the image I gave you. Use a different one. Just go out to Google Images and pick one. But I want it to look professional. I want the site to look professional. You might want to find a bigger image or one that you can stretch and it'll still look good. You can change that H1 tag that's in there. The stuff should be centered. You might want to take your Jumbotron and give it a different background color. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want this to be your work of art. All right? So, change the current image to one you prefer. Use CSS along with or use the Bootstrap classes to center the image and the text. Again, feel free to change the H1 text if you want to, but it should be relevant. All right, if you don't like that written by, if you just want it to say task list, that's fine. All right. Again, use CSS and or Bootstrap classes. What I'd like would be for you to go out. I didn't put this in here, but what I think you should do is to go out to Google Fonts and find 2 or 3 fonts that you like and base the whole site on those 2 or 3 fonts. Find something that goes together. I want this to look professional. I want this page or this site to be part of what you're going to put into your portfolio. Whether that is hosted someplace or not doesn't matter. All right? Okay, then I want you to go to the About page and make similar changes. In other words, just use CSS or CSS in combination with Bootstrap classes to change the font size, the font type, etc. If you think certain words should be bolded, I put it in there. I've got it in there actually as an ordered list. If you'd want to put it in a different way, you can. Does it make sense to you that what I'm saying is I want this to be yours? My hope is that all 8 of these look very different from one another. That's a good thing. All right, this is a chance for you to express your creative side, whatever you want to call it. All right? Then, create your own contact form. Already mentioned this. You can use the one that we created for the loan amortization program as a starting point. Put all of the form elements in a table. Use the Bootstrap table classes. What are those? Table, table striped, table condensed, right? At a minimum, you're going to put those. There are other table classes. If you want to look at those and possibly use one of those, you can. All right. The form should use the Bootstrap Form classes, and at a minimum, it should have these 8 fields. First name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, email, and cell phone number. That also assumes that if you're going to put those in, you're going to put in, I didn't say this on here, but I'm assuming that you're going to add labels. Does that make sense? I think you're to the point right now where I shouldn't have to say every single thing. And I don't want it where if I take off, you come in, well, you didn't say we had to do that. All right? That's Now, when I was a kid, this is how times have changed. If I would have said that to my dad, he would have smacked me right in the mouth. He would have said, now, any more questions? Okay? I would never smack any of you. I don't hit, I hit my oldest daughter. She got spanked 3 or 4 times. And after that, my kids, I don't think were ever spanked. So I want you to use validators with this. I don't see any reason why that can't work. You know how to add validators. I want every field that's in here to be a required field. So you will add a required field validator to each one of these. In addition, you will add a regular expression validator for what? The zip code, the email, and the cell phone. Those are built in. So there's not a lot of work you have to do with those. Every field except for state, because state's already going to be filled in. I want state to be dropped down. Everybody hear that? Maybe I didn't put that in there, but I want, just like we did in class, I want the state, all the states to be used. I don't want it where I have to put in the state. No, that's stupid. I want this to look professional. If you're in doubt, ask. All right. Use a validation summary. Create your own class for your validation summary that's called error or something like that. Make it bold and red. All right. I want that summary stuff to stand out. Make sure that and this should be a given. This should be a free 10 points. You should be applying the Bootstrap theme, and it should automatically be being applied to every page. All right. Finally, your grade will be determined by whether or not you met all the other criteria and how professional it looks. In other words, if I go and grab yours, and I don't even know if I still got it running or not. Yeah, I do. But if I grab yours and your background here is still white and you haven't changed the font here, you're going to lose points. All right? If I go to here, and if you put a theme on, I don't see any reason why that theme shouldn't automatically cascade over to your priorities. I don't know why it's not coming up, but it's not coming up. All right? Again, if you don't like the way this looks, change it. It's not hard. You can go in, you can add a border radius, and you can round the Jumbotron. You can add some padding up here so that it doesn't stick right to your menu. If you don't like that I put to-do list by Jeff Scott, you can just put to-do or nothing up there. But don't leave it an application name, all right? But you should have home, about, contact, priorities, and tasks. You should have this in there now. And you're going to play with that. Somehow you're going to massage that using CSS and using the Bootstrap classes. Is there anything on this list I just gave you that doesn't make sense? So you've got 2 hours right now. It's totally plausible that you could get it done in the 2 hours. I don't want it even if you get it done today. Just give it to me next Monday if you get it done today. That's fine. Tomorrow will be a work day, all right? And Thursday will be a work day, and Friday, to my knowledge, Ms. Zika is coming in again. Please remember, if you're going, Friday is the job fair here. If anybody wants me to print out any copies of their resume, let me know. All right? I have no problem at all doing that for you. All right? And it's 9:30 till 10:30. It's only 1 hour long, but I would get there if you want to be there early by around 9:15. I think that Brady and Amin and Evan will tell you that they were there early, really right when it opened up, because you guys were there already when I got there, and I got there at 9. All right, I was about 5 after because I went to the wrong building because somebody told me it was at a different building. But there were still a lot of people set up, and you're showing people your prompt too, which I don't think ever hurts. So any questions? Any questions on what you're supposed to be doing? All right, the rest of the period's yours then.